So I do have actual evidence that the government is lying to us, and it's not pertains to Epstein files as much as it's very obvious that they do lie about Epstein and a bunch of other things. But this particular thing is very peculiar. And recently, Obama had an interview with one of the podcasters where he lied again. And Obama did lie a lot during his presidency, but it's not. I'm not going to discuss his policy, even though I don't really like the guy. So this statement that he made, Obama did, that when he was a president of the United States of America, he was actually was told that there are aliens. They said that they didn't show the aliens directly to him, and there is nothing there at Area 51. But he did see some photos and pictures, and that the Pentagon and the military actually um, told him that they have an evidence of the extraterrestrial existence. Now, this thing with aliens is very old, and I guess that it used to be way more popular, the believing in aliens thing. So, what's my opinion? My opinion is that I think, of course, there are aliens, and there are a billion of galaxies, and every galaxy has a billion of stars, and the probability of life that is not from Earth is quite high, I guess. And the only thing is that those aliens, I don't think they ever been to Earth, and I don't think they have any idea uh, about Earth, because the life on Earth is because overall Earth is just another one of those trillions planets, one of these hectillion planets, I would say. And the only peculiar thing about Earth is that there is a life. There is life on Earth, and what's more is that this life is self-conscious. Is a conscious life on Earth, and I think that that fact is peculiar only for that consciousness and nothing else. If there are aliens, I guess they would be busy doing their alien things, surviving, and I don't know, gathering resources and stuff. But I do believe that we didn't have any contact with them, maybe yet, because the galaxy is too, not the galaxy, but the universe is too big and too vast. And it's simply that they cannot reach us and we cannot reach them. But the government tells us that they did see the aliens and that there are aliens. And I, at some point of my life, there was a revelation like situation where I understand that the government and the people who believe in alien are all wrong, and I will tell you exactly why. So several years ago, I was traveling um, from part to part of United States of America, doing the long distance trucking, and yeah, I've seen a lot of cities and a lot of places, and it was pretty fun. But one of the places that I visited was Roswell. Roswell is a very tiny city in Nevada, or maybe in Arizona. I don't remember. Sorry about that. And this particular city is very famous because the Area 51 is actually quite near that city, and the Area 51 is a place where supposedly the spaceship was had emergency landing, I would guess, or crash. So they say that in that area in the desert, the alien spaceship crashed, and then American government built the military base um, in that place to conceal the crash and everything. And there was a lot of rumors going on over there. There was a video film of alien dissection, which turned out to be a fictional movie of some kind. But the most important thing is there were a lot of photos, a lot of photo evidence of the thing. There were photos of the space saucers. There were photos of the alien-like creatures. There were photos of a lot of things, discs in the skies, and UFOs and stuff. And there were a bunch of them. And those photos are actually, I think, a lot of you saw them. There is a cloud that is forming a very spaceship-like form, and most of these photos, they are very popular because they were used in the opening of the X Files. X Files is a very old um, TV series about two FBI agents who are doing the investigation about the aliens, and it was very popular. And they did base this opening upon these very famous pictures. And they were before they it was all before internet, and they were all going around by some other means. I don't even know how. So uh, we went to Roswell. We went to this museum of Area 51, and there is a lot of memorabilia over there. And at some point, you walk around the museum and you see everything, and it's very cool. And you also see very clearly that this whole museum and this whole alien stuff is actually what's keeping this town from dying and from being empty, because there is nothing else over there. There is nothing else to do, and everybody left. But only these museums are what is keeping the economy afloat, and it actually looks pretty sad. But when you go in there, there is a very big wooden stand, and all of the photos that you see on in this that you saw on this X Files opening, they are present there, and you see them as a physical evidence. So those are the photos that the creators of the X Files series used in their opening, and I think they went there to this particular museum, took the pictures of them, or something like that, because they are in the paper format. It's old paper format, which before the invention of the digital camera was the prevailing format of the photography, and they are all there in one place. And you, when you look at it, you instantly understand that this is all false. So you instantly, at some point, you just have this eureka moment where you understand that not 1%, not or not 99%, not 98%, or not 99.9% of them are false. No, they all are 100% of them are actually fake. And it's not because you have to look at the photo and try and see how are they natural or are they artificial. Did they stage the frame, or is it an actual photo? No, it's not about that. It's about statistics and math. So when I was a young man, or when I was a boy, there was no such thing as a smartphone, and there was no such thing as a digital phone. I remember when went first to Barcelona when I was 12 and 13. I took a regular a, a regular tape like camera. The camera made photos, and there was a I don't know how it's called in English, but there was this line of shots that you have to put in the camera, and this every I would say badge of these shots contained either 26 or 32 or 50 or 40 or 42 shots that you could have made on this camera. And you are I'm blanking out on the word. I'm sorry, I'm not very good in English, but yeah, you put this thing in the camera, you make your photographs, you the badge, and you do your 32 shots, and then you bring it to the special place where they take this badge, and they make photos out of it. And then after like a day or two, you go there, and they give the photos to you. It's actually the whole like a very long process, a very exciting one. People who loved photography, they did it themselves. I remember my brother had it. You had to have like a very distinct red light and nothing else. and then you are somehow print these photos, you put them in the water. I don't know, but the process, I would guess, is very interesting. And so what I'm trying to say is that how it worked. A person, he took a camera with him, and he did it very very seldomly. Sometimes if he went to the trip, or sometimes if he knew that there will be something that can be photographed. So a lot of things were happening, but you couldn't be a you couldn't bring an evidence with you if something would have happened. So back then, like 30 years ago, if something would have happened, for example, like if a meteor would fall, or like a lightning would strike, most of the people who would be present there wouldn't be able to take a picture, or to make an evidence, to witness it. So the only witnessing argument they would have is that they could tell the story, but they would never have the evidence. But those pictures, the pictures of the UFOs, were such a good luck, so that the people who had the photo camera with them managed to make a picture of this alien saucer, of this alien ship. And before the invention of the smartphone, everybody was believing in these photos. Everybody thought that those people are were very, very lucky to actually take a picture of a spaceship. And now, after 20, 30 years, you see that all the people in the world has a smartphone, and all of those smartphones, they do have a camera. So whatever interesting thing you see on the street, you walk around, if you see something peculiar, you take out your smartphone, you make pictures, and all of the world is uh, becomes aware of that phenomenon, becomes aware of that thing. And we broke a lot of very silly very silly myths with the invention of the smartphone. But we did actually um, had an evidence and proved a lot of other myths that some people thought were not true. But the particular one with the spaceship, it feels like, so if if there were such amount of photo cameras 30 years ago or 40 years ago, and there are 10 or 15 or 20 photos of a spaceship, that means that the amount of the photographs that were made this year, you have to divide on these 20 photographs, and you will have a probability, a mathematical probability of how probable it is to actually take the picture of the space saucer. Now, if you will get the time 30 years later to present day, if you will take this amount of photo and then you apply it to modern era, and you will say, like, in the present time there are 100 million more photographs made than 30 years ago. Because, and it's not even exaggeration, it's about something like that. Every person makes about 1,000 photos every year, a different kind. And it used to be that one single person made 32 photos a year, in maybe, like, in the best case scenario. And now every person makes like 1,000 photos every year. And also, not only that, but he has a ability to make a photo whenever he wants. And now there is no photographs of the spaceships, and nobody has a reliable or proven photo of anything like an alien spacecraft. And the thing is that by that by that by that but by that thing where uh, by that relativity. So if there was, like, for example, a million photos 30 years ago, and 20 of them were of a spacecraft, but that relationships, you would have a spacecraft being photoed every single day by someone in the earth. So if any of those photos were actually of the spacecraft, then it means that in present day, if you elaborate and if you will extrapolate this relationship, this mathematical relation, you will see that every person will do at least one photo of a spaceship a day, and that would be something of a normal occurrence, or something of known phenomenon. But uh, the but the but it doesn't happen, and it doesn't happen because it's not just not present. The aliens did not uh, come to Earth, and they never flown in Earth. But Barack Obama said that they did. Barack Obama, some like several days ago, went out and said, "Yes, there are aliens. Yes, they do come to Earth," and he lied. And I think that the government is deliberately lying about aliens right now because of the military spending. So before Trump, before before Biden, before imperialism age that we are in right now, they started lying about aliens to uh, to make the military budget make sense. They say that they have to spend all those trillions dollars on the military because there might be some alien activity that we would have to build a space forces to fight those aliens. And before all these wars and before all this instability that we see right now, it actually was the only reason to build such to keep such vast military industrial complex. Now I think this argument is old and unnecessary because there is instability, and they don't have to hide their faces anymore. They just say that we want Venezuela and we want Greenland, and we're going to take it by force. And all this alien stuff is irrelevant. But this is actually the relic of it. And I don't know why Obama is saying that, because Obama is, you can say a lot of things about him, but I think he's a man that does whatever the establishment asks him to do. So if there is anything they will ask him, they like, can you please say that there are aliens to maybe, I don't know, avert the gaze of the public from the Epstein files or something like that. And he's like, yeah, okay, I'll do it. And that's and the thing is, nobody actually knows about that. But if you will think about that, like 5, 10 years ago, a former president acknowledged the existence of extraterrestrial life, would be a very, very loud, uh, op- very, very loud article. Everybody would have speak about it. That would grab a lot of attention. However, it's not happening because I think people, on one hand, they do understand that this is false, this is bullshit, and on the other hand, I think they think that. There is a lot of things going on right now, and way more interesting, way more important than aliens and other things. So yeah, well, thank you.